What is going on, guys? We are back with Residual Earners Podcast, episode 23, and today we have a very special guest with us that we will get to in a second, a marketing guru that we have worked with for 2 years now. But I'm Jordan.
I'm Presley.
And today we have Reagan Rugh.
Hello.
I got it right?
Yes.
There we go. So we have worked with Reagan for years now. She's done unbelievable work for us, got us a website going, full marketing campaigns, has her own business, and we're super excited to have her on the podcast.
She's
today.
also the prettiest guest we've had.
By far the
thank you.
prettiest
By far.
guest.
By far.
Definitely. So thank you for
That is awesome.
thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm lucky to be next to you guys. You guys are two people that I'm inspired by. So this is my first podcast, and I'm lucky to have.
I'm glad we could be the first with you. That's
Yeah.
kind of exciting.
I think
Yeah.
you're the first guest that's also complimented us.
Yes.
I don't think we've received
No.
a compliment yet.
No, nobody says nice things about us.
So give them a little bit about you, kind of where you're from, what you do, kind of how you started your business, and all that good stuff.
So I was born in California. My whole family's from California. We came to Texas when I was 9 years old. My family takes pride in not being from Texas. They're still stuck in we are California, but they're Texans. We say y'all. My mom slips and says y'all. I know she does behind the scenes. I'm a proud Texan. I've been here obviously long enough to. I'm definitely a Texan. I'm not a Californian. I grew up in Burleson, which is a small town outside of Fort Worth. My family actually migrated out to Godly, so I'm the child that's the farthest from my family. Actually, that's a lie. My sister's the farthest now. She's getting married. Moved to Dallas when I was 19. I actually dropped out of college to work for a marketing agency. I worked for two large marketing agencies. I would say they're probably just small boutique agencies, but they were large compared to a lot of smaller agencies. I worked for one for about 5 years, and I decided to start my business in 2021. It was not planned at all. I ended up becoming friends with some entrepreneurs who would see me work. I would leave work at 5 and continue to work from like 5 to 10 every day, and they asked me the hard questions of, why are you working so hard for somebody else when you obviously have the talent and have the relationships and have the drive to do it yourself? So one day I decided to start my own business. I had like $3,000 in my savings, contemplated selling my car, and took a leap of faith. In my first month, I actually got 3 clients, so I was very lucky, and yeah, life has been crazy ever since. I did not know what I was in for becoming a business owner. I had no idea that it would be far more stressful than working for somebody else, but I'm glad that I did it. I've met the most incredible people. I've elevated myself in my health, in my personal life, and I get to work for myself, which is awesome.
But we're obviously your favorite clients, right?
Yeah, you're my favorite.
Okay. I just wanted to
they're my
set that
favorite.
right now. So
Well, that is awesome. Let's jump into the kind of your expertise in the social media side, obviously websites, everything. We'll start with social media, though. Kind of why is social media so crucial for businesses today?
I believe that if you're a business and you have a service or product and you're not utilizing social media at this point, you're not moving in the right direction. It used to be social media was something more. You can hire someone for cheap, and they're just posting randomly on Instagram for you, and it's just to stay updated, or you could kind of move without social media at all. I think COVID really changed the game for everything because people were stuck inside their homes, and business owners were trying to find other outlets to capture their audience, and that's when UGC became really big, which is user-generated content. Content started to look more authentic. You didn't have to hire professional videographers to make good videos, which is also a reason why businesses don't usually. In the past, they wouldn't use social media because to get really good content, you have to spend a lot of money. Now you can take authentic videos in your car, and people are very used to seeing that type of content. So social media has completely changed, along with all of the social media platforms we have today are turning into search engines. So if you are searching for a product or service, if you were to look on Google, TikTok is one of the number one listings that you'll find. People's TikTok videos are popping up when you're searching for something. So at this point, the social media outlets are large search engines, and we should be on them and utilizing all of the features.
So what Reagan is saying, in essence, is that we don't need all these high-dollar cameras. We could just be using our iPhones.
I tried to tell you that early on, and you wouldn't have it.
At least you guys you have them, so you look better than everybody else.
That's it.
But the big question is, Reagan, what do you think about our neon signs here? I mean, do you like these?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't doubt you guys, but I am impressed. More impressed than I imagined. I've been trying to find one of these signs for someone else for a long time.
Jordan can hook you up. So,
Yeah, I'll shoot that over to you.
let me ask one real quick. How do you decide what strategy to use when you get a new client? How do you feel that out and go, okay, I'm going to go this route?
I'm actually doing this right now for a client. We've switched strategies a couple of times. For me, I'm not really a huge creative person. I'm more of an analytical person. So I believe that you should you should do your research, and you should just start a strategy. I think it's less about the perfect strategy and more about consistency at this point. From what I've seen, the people that have started with something, stuck with it for 3 months, and then they've modified it looking at the data are the people that win. A strategy is not as important in the beginning as analyzing, for me personally, from what I've seen. So I think it's just more about getting started, posting 3 times a day and being consistent for as long as possible, and then using the data to change your strategy.
All right. Now, I used to be a basketball coach. And if I'm playing a team and they're kicking my butt with a certain inbounds play, I copy that inbounds play.
Yep.
I mean, I steal it. And I start using it because it kicked my butt, so I'm going to try to kick some people's butt with it. Do you ever look at competition and see what they're doing and see what's working?
Oh, yeah. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel in this. There's successful people in proven concepts, and you should absolutely be looking at them and doing them. I do that all the time. I think there's nothing new under the sun when it comes to social media. They'll give you what you need to do. It's kind of about who is willing to do it consistently and willing to put in the work.
Right.
So this is jumping forward a little bit. So social media, there's not a lot of updates coming that really change the algorithms, where SEO, there are, because obviously we've talked a lot about how, hey, Google did this or whatever it is for ranking purposes, and we have to adjust because of the new algorithm, whatever it is. Social media is not so much that way.
Social media, their algorithm changes from time to time, but it's more they're adjusting to their data within the platform. Like Instagram will change their algorithm and come out with new features, and their algorithm will change according to the new features, versus Google is all about user experience, and they're changing their algorithm based on multiple factors happening. Google right now is the most hated place because they've switched up their algorithms so much, and they actually had a lot of documentation leak about how they actually rank sites, which is absolutely the opposite of what they told you. So Instagram is not like that. They usually come out with new features, and then the algorithm will change according to that. We are seeing, though, that social media platforms are becoming more like search engines. So the hashtags and things that we thought were important, and then they said they weren't important, are back to being important now.
Definitely. So what are some of the biggest mistakes you see people make on social media?
The biggest mistakes that I see, the number one biggest mistake is not sticking with it, giving up. The number two mistake that I see really is, I think we're lacking. I know I said we shouldn't reinvent the wheel, but I do also believe that some people lack a niche. There's a lot of people trying to be the same people, and it is a numbers game. If you stay consistent more than someone else, eventually you will see traction. But also, I think we're becoming really saturated with the same type of content. And it's happening because if I go on TikTok right now and I want to find a way to grow a business and make money and work for myself, there's these recipes. They tell you what kind of posts to put out there, what they should look like, and now everybody's doing it. So when I get on Instagram, I see the same motivational videos over and over and over and over again. And then I'll see one company that's slightly branded different, and I look at it and I go, okay, that's slightly different. So I do think a mistake people are making is they're buying into these programs of social media, and now everything looks the same. So
I like that. That's good stuff.
That is good stuff.
Awesome. So now let's move over to the website side of things. And what role does a website play in a business's overall strategy and success?
Your website is your online storefront. So I tell people this: if you have a service or product and people are visiting your website, why would you have something that looks bad? If it's a store, if I sell shoes in a store and somebody walks up to my store and it's dirty and the shoes are unorganized and it's not clean and it's difficult to navigate inside the store, I don't know where to find anything, I'm not going to have a good experience, and that's your website. A website is absolutely essential, especially now. People are buying online more than they are buying anywhere else. Brick and mortar is, a few years ago, I saw this study of commercial realtors were looking to buy warehouses more than they were looking to buy commercial offices, because there was such a high demand of warehouses because of the amount of businesses bringing their business to the web. And that's more of a product, a business that sells product, but even a business that sells a service. You can almost buy into a service online. If I sell life insurance, I'm pretty much bought into that service before I finish looking at the website. That's the entire goal. I should already have it in my mind that I'm buying into that program. People make decisions much quicker now than they ever have before. Everybody wants instant. That's the world that we live in. So your website you should absolutely have a website. You should have a easy to navigate website. You should have a website that functions properly, that's simple, that looks good. If I have a client that's in oil and gas, and they're like, well, nobody cares if my website looks good. Well, they might care if every other website they see looks good and yours doesn't. So that can make you look like you're not going to provide quality versus your competitors. So a website is the one thing that I tell people you absolutely have to have. And you absolutely have to have a website that's optimized for mobile, because 80% of people are looking on their phone versus their laptops.
Okay, websites. Do you like websites that have things rotating, lots of movement? Do you just like basic websites? Do you like certain color combinations on websites?
I don't have a favorite. I like websites that are easy to navigate, and I'm a type of person that if I need something and I want something, I want to get my info as quickly as possible and get to, if I'm calling somebody, if I'm getting a free quote or I'm buying a product, it has to be simple. The websites with the animations and stuff are fun. I'm building a website for a car dealer right now, and his website, he sells luxury vehicles, so it's going to have really cool animations and videos and things like that. That's really, really exciting. But also I'm personally analytical, so I love the websites that are more professional and easy to navigate and simple. So I think it just depends. But we build websites are crazy. You can put anything on a website. You can have any type of animation. So when we get those types of websites sometimes, and they're difficult in the beginning, but they're fun to do.
Now, Jordan's big into, as you can tell, purples and yellows. Do you like that color combo?
The purple and yellow?
Yeah.
I love that color combo.
Reagan's choice.
Every time we mention the set, he's bragging about his yellow chair. He thinks that's just the slickest thing.
I I love the colors of residual earners. I know I'm personally tied to them. I wasn't paid to say that. But I think the colors are great because in this type of business, you always see the same colors. You see blue, you see green. Green is wealth, blue is loyalty. The purple and yellow are different.
Definitely. So back to the website here. How does a website affect a company's credibility?
I believe it affects their credibility because if you're lacking information, if you're lacking customer service, if you're lacking just quality imagery or a quality user experience, people aren't going to take you serious. Me personally, when I go to websites and they look like they were created in 1999, I don't think you're operating a business that I want to buy from. But I'm also in a generation where I'm in a different generation than you guys.
No, but I agree with that. I was going to buy something the other day that's hard to find. It's a film camera. So, like, actually has film. And the company that I was told to purchase from, I mean, the website is as old school as it gets. I mean, it's lucky to have the address on there, and it really makes you not even want to do business.
Yeah.
So I went a different route and got it somewhere else.
You know, and I thought we were all kind of from the same generation, but I
You're
guess we're
close.
not,
You barely missed it.
Yeah.
How does SEO impact a website's effectiveness and visibility?
SEO is obviously this is my favorite thing, so I'm gonna talk about it from a personal. It's what I sell, and it's my favorite thing I sell. But it's my favorite thing to sell, and kind of where I started to niche down in my business because it works. It is so beneficial to your website. Now, I have very honest conversations with people that I meet. There are some types of businesses in websites that I tell people they shouldn't do SEO. And those are more of the individuals that, for example, I have a friend that's a realtor, and he has a small little website, it's a little landing page, and he said, I wanted to start doing SEO, but I only have an X budget of this, and these are the keywords I want to target. Well, I don't know the actual math, but I know there's like hundreds of thousands of realtors just in DFW doing the same thing, spending a lot of money on advertising, spending a lot of money on SEO. I told him that it wouldn't be a good decision for him. It would take a very long time and a lot of work to even try to get to the top page of Google for what he wants to rank for. So there are some individuals and websites that it's not beneficial. But if you are a business in a market where there are a lot of opportunities, there's not a lot of people doing them. For example, the car business, the buy here, pay here car business is a really good business to do SEO because a lot of those companies, they don't have custom websites where
They're old school.
Yeah, they're old school CRMs, old school inventory management systems. The websites are templates that you get from the same company, and we can't modify the websites on a technical SEO aspect to function properly, and they're just not built for traction. So there are a lot of businesses that can benefit from them, but not from SEO. But not every business right now can benefit from SEO. But also, SEO has changed so much as of late in what you have to do. So there are some more opportunities that are rising. For example, for you guys, Pinterest is becoming one of the top favorites of Google right now. So back in the day was like last year. You're still doing, but there's been so many updates. You obviously a strong strategy was blogging, posting content, because Google wants to see that the information, the thing that you're selling, and the information you're putting out there on your website is relevant to what you're selling. Because Google's entire goal is to send a user to the best place for what they're searching for. So if I'm searching for where is the best place, what is the best, I don't know, pickleball racket, Google wants to make sure that the top 10 listings on that page are serving the best pickleball racket places. And to earn those positions, you have to have your website built to basically tell Google, this is all the content I have about pickleball rackets. This is how I've structured my site to show you that we sell the best pickleball rackets. And this is all the information and all of the keywords that I have around that. Now we're seeing that Google, after a few updates, they're starting to push LinkedIn, Pinterest, and a huge one is Reddit. So they've gone from and there's a lot of people that were affected by this. Big companies that had all of this blog content that were ranking high went down in rankings because Google decided that now everybody's blogging. So now we don't know who's more authentic because everybody's blogging. So now what we believe is more authentic is Reddit, because Reddit is a bunch of real people putting real honest answers out there. So some people's sites tanked in rankings, and now there's a whole new strategy, which opens up new opportunities for businesses to start posting information on Pinterest, to start posting more on LinkedIn, to start posting more on Reddit. So SEO it's really, really good, but it's an ever-changing thing. And especially with AI now, Google's done a couple of spam updates to make sure that, they're making sure that websites aren't fully AI generated. They liked AI and then they hated AI and now they like AI again. So it's really awesome, but you have to stay up to date with what Google's wanting.
If someone's just getting going with a website, how do they get moving in the right direction with SEO? Do they need to hire somebody? Can they do research themselves? How would that work?
I would recommend someone do research themselves, because SEO, for me personally, the person that's selling it, I have better relationships with clients that understand it to a certain degree, because then they can appreciate what's happening. Because SEO is an investment, so it's not like advertising. Advertising, you can start off, you can have real data in front of you. I've done this with you guys. I can show you guys, here's your ads, you're getting 40,000 impressions, and there's these numbers that you can show people. But the second ads turn off, the pipeline turns. You don't have anything in your pipeline. SEO is an investment that you have to make in a minimum of, I would say, 3 to 6 months before you start to see any sort of traction. So for someone getting started, if you're even thinking about SEO, you need to be prepared for an investment. You need to be prepared to do SEO for longer than 3 to 6 months. And 6 months is really the timeline that I tell people where you will actually see the benefits. But once you see the benefits, the difference in SEO and ads is you could shut off SEO. You could stop doing it. Once you've built traction, you actually can hold your rankings with Google. It doesn't turn off the leads coming in. So if you're starting off, understand it's investment. Do your research. Understand it's an investment. It's not something that you can just turn on and off because you're not seeing leads. You have to be dedicated to the timeline that it takes to get leads.
Do you ever have clients that go, I've been spending X amount of dollars for 3 months and I'm not getting any traction?
Yeah, all the time. And that's kind of why I changed the structure of my business. I used to hold them to 3 to 6 month contracts, which was it was for a reason, because I wanted to have a timeline where I can actually show them data and that I could show them that I can get them leads. But it's usually around the 3 month mark where clients are like, well, I don't see anything. Nothing's going on. And then I have to release them out of a contract, and it's not a fun conversation. So I've changed to month-to-month contracts and kind of changed the way I go into the initial meeting now. I make it very clear, if you don't do this for 6 months, you're not going to see what you want. And honestly, we're not going to have a good relationship. If you don't commit to 6 months, I'm going to let you know right now, I can't promise you anything. And if you say that up front, then it's usually a better relationship. But I'm only working with them month to month now, so I don't have to have those hold anybody to a contract that's longer.
Well, that kind of falls into the under promise and over deliver.
Yeah.
So let them know that.
Definitely. Well, let's move into kind of YouTube. Obviously, businesses are shifting and doing so much more in the space of YouTube videos, content, stuff like that. So kind of go over the importance of YouTube, the importance of kind of some longer content for businesses and how that affects things.
Yeah, so we've become accustomed to short form content. That's why TikTok is so addicting, why it became so addicting. So YouTube actually came out with shorts because they were trying to have short form content as well. But long form content is still very important. Having those YouTube tutorials are people still go to YouTube to learn how to do most things that they don't know how to do. I'm one of those people. So everything has kind of changed. Every platform has changed to short form content to appeal to what's going on, but YouTube is still very strong in the sense that it prioritizes long form content because we still need that type of content. There are still people that they're not going on YouTube to scroll and watch funny videos. They're going to YouTube to learn. YouTube is quite possibly one of the greatest places to learn. So long form content is still extremely valuable. I think how to appeal to the way people watch content is when you have long form content, your editing is making it engaging and easy for someone to kind of scroll and go to the topics that they maybe want to talk about. And that's the same with blogging. Blogging used to be, you have to write 500 to 700 words. Google wanted you to write, shorter content because people don't read as much. Now it's back to like up to 2,500 words. And the strategy there is have a lot of content, but break up the content that someone can read and kind of skip to the part that they're looking for. And that's how it is on YouTube. You want to be able to kind of skip around and go to, maybe there's an entire video on how to do something, but you're only looking for that one thing that you're messing up. So long form content is still very important, but how you edit it is what makes it different.
And how important is the quality of the content, the production efforts, everything the viewer sees and keeping them engaged and having them come back?
For me, my favorite YouTube videos, it's someone sitting in their desk and they have a regular camera. It's not an iPhone, but it's a little vlog camera, and they have good lighting. To get good content, you really just need good angles and good lighting. I don't think it matters having the best camera in the world or the best background. People are running very massive YouTube channels with inexpensive. They have inexpensive setups. So for me, when I'm watching a YouTube, obviously if it's an Android, I'm not trying to go against Android users. I don't know how people think that's a good camera. I have this argument all the time. It's the worst camera. It always looks blurry. When people have those videos and they don't have good lighting and the setup is bad, obviously I don't trust that video. I don't know if I want to learn from them, but I don't think you have to have the perfect setup to get started. You just need to get started.
I've heard that a lot, just getting started. And then do any channels, I know this is putting you on the spot, can you think of any channels that really stand out to you that you always go to and watch, and maybe say some things that draw you to that content?
So my YouTube videos I watch are all around. I'm on an e-com hype right now. So I'm looking at the top like drop shippers and people who've started e-com businesses. There is a kid, I call him a kid, he's probably my age, but his name's Jordan. And he started drop shipping. Yeah, he's very successful, the Jordans. He started a drop shipping company, and what stands out to me with his videos and a lot of the people that I see is they use really good thumbnails to get you in. So when I'm I could be searching for the do's and don'ts of drop shipping, and all these videos are going to pop up, and that first thumbnail you see in the words that they're saying is really important. So for the Jordan guy, I would always click on his videos because he would use very enticing titles in his thumbnails. And then once I approached his videos, He was really honest, authentic. Like, this is what I did. This is how I failed. This is how I'm winning. And he had just like a normal setup. He felt relatable to me, like someone that actually started a drop shipping company from nothing, and I related to him. And those are the videos that usually pull me in. People using really good titles in their thumbnails that's causing me to want to click. And then once I am clicking, they seem like they're very relatable to me. If I see a video of Alex Hormozy, I don't feel really relatable to him. Like, no. I love his advice and I love his podcasts, but when I go to his videos, it seems a little bit out of reach and out of touch. But when I go to some of these smaller, successful people, I see their setups. I see that they're in their little office, in their little apartment, and that's, for me, those are my favorite types of videos. And I think the relatable ones are the best for me personally.
Okay, so let's kind of tie this all in together now and talk strategy, because obviously, we've kind of gone over, social media, website, YouTube. How do we tie all those together in one effort to make, a brand, and where everything you do ties together for your brand and getting it out there?
I think content's the first step. You should make content, and then once you have content, that content can be pushed out into all of the different platforms. So you guys are making videos, you should post videos on YouTube. Your YouTubes should link back to your website that has a blog about what maybe the things you just talked about, or maybe you sell products, so your YouTube channel is linking back to your products. That is an SEO strategy, linking from YouTube to your website to YouTube. It's external linking, and it's a really good strategy. But everything should be connected. So when everything is working towards the same goal, for people to buy into what you're doing, they say that they have to come across your brand 7 times before they buy in. So I may come across one of your videos on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, okay, that was cool. And then the algorithm brings it back later on, and I see another video. I'm like, okay, wait, who are these guys? So now I'm interested. And then maybe you guys are selling something, and I sign up, and you now have my email. Well, then I'm getting an email from you about this new podcast that just launched. Okay, well, I didn't know that they have a podcast every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Now I'm coming back, and now I'm watching another podcast. And then I go on Instagram, and now I'm getting served an ad of, the podcast that you just did. Oh, they have an Instagram. Let me go follow that. That's usually the process of how to really capture a loyal viewer, customer, client. So you want a full strategy, because you want to kind of be nurturing them from all the different places that they're operating. I have an email, I have social media, I have TikTok and Instagram. So if you're utilizing all of the platforms, you're going to have a better chance of getting in front of somebody. But also, every time I'm coming across you guys on different platforms, I'm building a little bit more trust into who you are, because it's just more credibility. So a full strategy is good, but I think it starts off with your content. So your strategy is your content, and then your content can flow into all of the other areas.
So since we have you on, we've got great content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what we're shooting for. How important is it for, you're talking about making content, sending stuff out everywhere, having that website. How important is it for everything to look similar, where people can say, okay, that's their look, that's that brand's look, I know who that is just because I watched the video?
Branding is so important. It is, if you could wear the same shirt with the same background in every video, people are going to recognize you sometimes for just your brand. I think everything should be branded. You can always take a little step out of your brand if it's necessary, but everything should have the same look and feel, in my opinion. I used to work for a guy, and his brand, he wore bright blue glasses. And every networking event we went to, everywhere we went, people, I don't even know if they knew most of the time what he sold. Like, he sold telephone systems. People didn't know him for that. They knew him for the guy with the blue glasses every time. Like, you wouldn't remember what he did, but you would remember him for he had looked like Albert Einstein with blue glasses. And everyone recognized him for that. And nobody recognized, people knew what I did, but nobody recognized me for anything. his name was Rob and my name was Reagan. So it was like Rob with the blue glasses and then Reagan that talks about marketing. I didn't have a brand. So I think a brand, utilizing your brand colors in all areas is really important. But also when you're doing a podcast, having the same look and feel, eventually people will recognize you for that.
All right, when we finish, I'm heading out to the store to get me some blue glasses.
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Keys to success.
You know, that's probably a thing that, like Randy Hedge, I mean, we talk about him on here, his hat.
Yeah.
He's always wearing that cowboy hat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And you know what? When I first met you first talked about Randy, you said the cowboy. And then when we went into that conference, I knew exactly who Randy was from the hat because that's the cowboy. And he is, if I would forget Randy's name, I would just know who he is because of the cowboy hat.
Right.
Have you checked out his TikTok lately?
I watch his TikToks almost every morning when I get a coffee.
During that conference, he just hit 100,000.
Yeah.
And now he's just shy of 250.
Yeah. You know what Randy does really well, and this is really important that I'm struggling with making content, is he is so authentically himself. He's selling something, but he talks about what he wants to talk about, and he is so himself, and I think that's why people are so attracted to him. I think that's really important because now when I get on TikTok, everybody's the same. Everybody's saying the same things. You want to make $10K a month residual? Sign up for my program, sign up for my program, sign up for my course. This is how you make sales. And it's all the same. It's the same people doing the same thing. Randy is just a very authentic individual doing the same stuff. He's selling people a lifestyle. He's selling people a way to make residual money, but he still has a niche. He's still himself. He likes to fish. He likes to hunt. He has his own personal values. And that's why people love Randy.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I drove back from Houston. I was in Houston last night. Drove back this morning, and for 2 hours, I listened to that rascal do his TikTok live.
Randy?
Randy.
I listen all the time.
Listen to that rascal for I mean, I've listened to him all the time, but not 2 hours straight because I'm always busy. But since I was in the car, I listened to him this morning for literally over 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's good.
All right, so back to the overall strategy. How do you rate, or I'm trying to, the word is slipping me, but how do you know you're having success? Measure. I don't know why that was so difficult for me. How do you measure success with an overall strategy?
Well, with what I do, success is measured by conversions typically, and how many leads you're converting. When it comes to the SEO and the advertising, that is the number one metric people are looking for. I mean, we'll be honest, everybody that has a business, they're looking to make more money. That's pretty much the end goal. I think you can have an overall purpose of impacting people's lives and all of that, but you have to be profiting, you have to be making money. So the number one metric that I'm always looking for, or I have to strive to achieve, is more conversions. We have to be doing better year over year. And there are percentages that we come up with. I usually work with the company to understand their financial goals and what those percentages are so we can try. But when it comes to kind of other aspects of what I'm doing in my personal life, like content that I'm trying to create, I'm trying not to get too caught up in conversions and get more caught up with the impact that I'm having with some of the things that I want to do. So I think it really depends. There are some people that start a business and for the first 3 years, they just want to make an impact. They just want to help people and the numbers aren't as important. And then there's some businesses that are actively operating and they have to get their conversions up and they have to be selling more and they have certain metrics that I have to try to increase. So I do think it's situational. More often, I see companies that usually want to have an impact on people usually end up doing better than the ones that just want conversions, though. So I think naturally, I'm a spiritual person, so I think naturally when you do want to help people, for some reason you obviously get more than when you're only the only thing you care about is the metrics.
Definitely.
No, I think it goes back to kind of like what you're talking about, Randy. If you're authentic, if you have a caring bone in your body, people pick up on that. And I think people like to do business with people that they feel like are caring.
Yeah.
So we're not done, but this kind of ties into everything. Give people your information and where to find you, because obviously for multiple things for us, you have put complete packages in place. From everything from social media, creating websites, managing the whole back end. You do an unbelievable job, and that's why we trust you with multiple things that we have going. So where can people find you if they're interested in you helping them out in their business?
You can find me on my
She's sitting right here. What are you talking
can find
about?
me
We have found her.
We found her.
What's your address again? You can find me LinkedIn, Reagan Rugh. I think I'm the only person with my name. So
That's RUGH.
RUGH.
Yes.
And spell Reagan too.
REAGAN. And you can visit my website, newdirectionseo.com.
Perfect. And I highly recommend, if you have any questions, please reach out to Reagan, see if she can help you guys, because she's done unbelievable for us. So just a little bit more here. Kind of going over trends, what you're seeing in the market, kind of things that are changing, and advice you have kind of going forward, stuff that you're going to be doing.
Yeah, so some of the trends that I'm seeing right now, I would say on social media, Instagram is coming out with new features. All the platforms eventually come out with new features. It's actually really good to utilize every feature that's on there. So if it is Instagram, I would start utilizing, there's a topic sections where you can choose like the categories of topics that your business is in. Utilize all of those features. Every platform or search engine, they want you to utilize the things they're coming out with, because they came out with them for a reason. It really is, they will prioritize you if you're utilizing the things that they are asking you to utilize. So do all of that. Video is number one. I know that we kind of already, as a society, understood that video content is very high ranking, but it has become absolutely crucial that you're making videos, reels versus posts. Obviously, be on TikTok, be on every platform. Utilize every platform that's out there. A big trend that I am personally, in moving forward, I'm using is the Threads platform, which is obviously Instagram's Twitter. I've been posting on there a bit for the past couple of weeks, and I'm starting to grow more than I would on Instagram or Twitter. I get more followers on Threads from posting basic quotes than I would on an Instagram reel or a TikTok. So the Threads is good because you don't have to go extremely viral to get followers. You actually just have to relate to something. I think it's more of I tell people it's like Twitter or X, but more for entrepreneurs, people that are into fitness and health and motivation. So if that's you, or if you have a business, or if you're into those things, absolutely be utilizing Threads. Not a lot of people are doing it, and not a lot of people are doing it well. So that's a trend. And then obviously if you have a website and you want to grow on Google, there are 100 million things happening with SEO right now. So please give me a call. That's something that you should look into. And then AI is another big topic that I could talk about for hours, but be utilizing AI tools right now. That's really big. AI is being used on Google right now for search. So just putting it out there. If you're not utilizing AI in any aspect, start looking at the tools, start seeing how you can automate your business using those tools. It won't replace humans, but they say humans that leverage it will replace other humans. So if you're not utilizing ChatGPT or any of those, you should be.
Definitely. So somebody that's trying to stay ahead of things, because obviously you're always a step ahead of what's happening.
Yeah.
How can somebody get ahead of the curve and know the trends and know what they need to be doing?
So the best place to stay ahead, honestly, especially for my business, is Twitter. Get integrated in communities on Twitter or Threads. So for what I do in SEO, I could look at what are the top 4 strategies for SEO in 2024 on Google right now, and those top 10, 11 posts that are on Google are probably already behind what SEO people are actually talking about on Twitter. You need to get integrated in Reddit groups, Facebook groups, Twitter forums, and stay connected to people that are actively doing what you're trying to do. That is the best place to stay ahead, is the people that are doing it. There's no, for what I do with Google, there's no way to get ahead in the sense of we have no idea what Google decides. That's what those algorithm updates, we have to wait for the algorithm update, wait for it to roll out, and then we all either get hit, some people go up, some people go down, and then that's where all of the SEOs start working. And then for free, they'll go on YouTube, or they'll go on Twitter, or they'll go on Threads, and they'll start posting what's happening to their businesses live. Like, hey, this is happening to me, and this is how I'm fixing it. And that's kind of the only and best way you can stay ahead. The same thing for social media. There's social media experts on Twitter and people that are really good at it. They can't predict what's going to happen with the algorithm, but they're working live to try to change and modify what they're doing to benefit themselves. And it's live. So that's the best way to stay ahead if you can.
That's awesome. Well, that kind of wraps up my question. Do you have anything else?
What can we do with our podcast to make it better?
I think for your podcast, well, you guys already look amazing, so you got that one out. The signage is amazing.
That's the easy part, Preston.
Oh, just look good.
I think for you guys, it's hard to appreciate the small wins when there's podcasters out there with hundreds of thousands of followers. But we have had some milestones. You guys have had some milestones that you've hit. So you're really doing everything well. I think your content's engaging. I'm not saying that because I'm biased. It's engaging content. It's just a matter of staying consistent, utilizing all the trends. That's the hardest part on TikTok. There's a trend every day. So it's hard to stay up to date, but it really is just keep going. Eventually, you guys you're going to be taking over so much landscape that people will get involved. Another thing is I would try to offer people something of value that they don't have to buy constantly. And really, it is this motive. This right here, this is of value. They don't have to buy to learn this information. So keep constantly figuring out how can I provide to people. How can I provide them something that they don't have to purchase? Because that's what's happening on the internet. You have to buy into a course for everything, or buy into some 22-year-old girl's program to learn how to become this. Give too much information for free, and people will become loyal.
Definitely. I think that's awesome.
I figured she would just say that we should have her on as a guest every week. You know,
Yeah.
that would do it.
That too.
Yeah.
No, this was awesome content, and we'll definitely have you back on because there's, we kind of skim the surface today, and there's so much, you can go into SEO, and I know you can talk about it for hours, trends on social media, stuff like that.
I want to hear more about AI as well.
That's another really good topic that we could go over in the future, because it's here, and it's here to stay.
The most terrifying but most fascinating thing happening is AI. It's absolutely scary, but cool at the same time. It's weird.
I agree with that.
That's it. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in today. Thank you, Reagan, for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
We always love hanging out. As always, guys, leave comments down below on topics you want us to talk about. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video. I think this was very, very, very informational. I think Reagan killed it today.
Yes.
We always thank you guys so much for just tuning in.
Love you.
Love you too, big dog. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
God bless you.